Absolutely. And this is something that I always share with my tribe, my clients, my audience. Focus is more important than IQ. Focus is more important than IQ. Focus on, a few fundamentals and make miles of progress on those few focused fundamentals instead of trying to, make a millimeter progress on a million things.
Hi and welcome to another episode of the peopleHum interview series. This is your host Anushka at peopleHum. peopleHum is an end-to-end one-view integrated human capital management automation platform, the winner of the 2019 Global Cody Award for HCM that is specifically built for crafted employee experiences and the future of work. We run the peopleHum blog and video channel, which receives more than 400,000 visitors a year, and we also publish around 12 interviews with well-known names globally every month. We have with us today Neeraj Shah, founder and CEO of Titan Masterminds, India's first business and personal growth mastermind. Neeraj is involved in empowering successful entrepreneurs to amplify the performance of their business by tearing down barriers. He's a business mentor, business mastermind, author, and keynote speaker who really helps consultants win high-value businesses via LinkedIn. He's involved in offering an entrepreneurship development program which offers regular in-depth implementation and focusing on more training-based business growth ventures. And he delves into also topics like marketing, sales, leadership, team management, and productivity. We're so happy and honored to have someone of his stature today on our interview series. Welcome, Neeraj. We're thrilled to have you.
Thanks so much. It's an honor to be here, and you have incredible guests that I follow.
Thank you. The pleasure is absolutely ours. So Neeraj, just diving right deep into the interview, you're the founder and CEO of Titan Masterminds, and you've had incredible experience and you've had a phenomenal journey so far. So can you just tell us more about your company and the great work that you do there?
Sure. In a nutshell, we help entrepreneurs, consultants, and high trust advisors attract and convert high value clients online. So that's what we do in a nutshell. And we do that through basically four verticals that we have. One, which is a mastermind, which I'll talk about a little bit later in a moment. But the first one essentially is how do you utilize LinkedIn to help generate high value clients? So we have a LinkedIn training specifically for that, which I'm a LinkedIn master trainer for a global entrepreneur organization, which supports 1.5 million entrepreneurs globally, called the Genius U platform. So we've developed that there. And I've been in this networking field for a very long time, over 16 years. So I know it like the back of my hand, both offline and online networking. I started a organization called BNI, which is a business network, and it's the leading business network here in India and globally as well. But now things have gone really online, and I think LinkedIn is no better platform with over 720 million entrepreneurs, decision makers, and really high-powered people. So that's one of the things. And then the second thing, what we've seen, particularly since COVID happened, is people are looking for a high-touch, high-tech sort of solution. So we help with implementation. So we have some done with you programs, which range over 90 days. So we actually help people implement the learnings and set up a marketing system around LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is different from Facebook or any of those other things out there. Some people mistake it for being a Facebook for business, but it's not. You've got to really approach it in a very professional and strategic way. So we help you really create a system around that. And then the mastermind is one of my favorites because I've worked with so many entrepreneur groups out there. What I've understood is that being an entrepreneur, being a founder of your own company can be quite lonely. So what we put together is a peer advisory board of successful founders who basically help you with amplifying the performance of your business, multiplying your capability, and also tearing down the barriers that hold you back. And that's really from a pure mastermind format. Napoleon Hill is the guy who came up with the whole concept, and we basically created a system and process around that, which is more focused on entrepreneurs. And then lastly, we have something called the Titan Accelerator Program, which is we help people who are already established, successful entrepreneurs, but really help them build a amazing personal brand where they become a titan in a chosen niche, so that they really own that space and really attract the best opportunities and be seen as the thought leader in their field. So yeah, that's basically the four verticals.
That's great. That's some incredible work you're doing there. And it's so heartening to see that you're actually leveraging LinkedIn as a platform to actually help businesses and entrepreneurs grow. So, congratulations on the success of your journey and work, Neeraj.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So, going on to the next question, you've also mentioned that it's really essential and imperative to just create content infused with one's, unique personality and communication style. So, could you just elaborate a little more on that for our audience? And also, how can just, companies and individuals make themselves stand like apart from the crowd and out of all the noise?
Yeah, I mean, look, since COVID has happened, social media usage and internet usage is really shot up. And as a result, it's become very noisy out there. And if you have a personal brand, then that's a key element, a key way in which you can stand out and be you. Okay, you're not trying to impersonate someone, you're just being you and using that to your full power and potential to stand out. We all know the old adage of, it's not what you know, but who you know that counts. But I think COVID has really turned that on its head. And in fact, it's become who knows you rather than who you know. So, social media is allowing you this incredible opportunity for you to have visibility at scale. And I think the best way to do that is to have relevant content which you create, which is related to your target market and your expertise, and begin to unpack your unique intellectual property, your expertise, and using social media as a platform. And then depending on where your target market is going to be, then use that particular platform. So take, for example, the kind of people I deal with are primarily on LinkedIn. Okay. So then, I will be more active on LinkedIn and I'll be unpacking the intellectual property. And I think there are a number of ways in which you can do that. Blog posts, normal posts, video works very well. And what you're using this is really using this content to amplify your authority, credibility, and expertise. So, just think of the acronym ACE. You're trying to ace it: authority, credibility, and expertise. um, and I think if you do it in the right way, then what will happen is that people will begin to know you, like you, and trust you. And I think when you're looking at the journey, there are about 3 different types of content that you've got to become proficient at putting together. And one would be the problem-aware content, and identify for your ideal clients what is the number one key problem with regard to your product or service that they typically face. Because people will be, I would say that 80% of your target market are more problem aware, but not aware of the solution or the kind of results that those solutions can produce. So you've got to spend more time on helping them identify that there are other people going through this, helping them build empathy, and then showing your expertise by saying that, look, there are solutions for the problems that are there. And these are the kind of results that people can get. And I think social proof, which is like, say, if you've used a product or service and you found a great benefit, And if you leave a review, which is a LinkedIn recommendation, is essentially a review. But so many of us, when we're looking to make buying decisions these days, are using reviews. So, it's another way to use reviews. It's another way to use case studies, testimonials. And all of these are actually ways of showing content. And if you do this really well, then, what will happen is that you'll begin to foster trust. You'll shorten the sales cycle, and you will create top of mind awareness. When people are considering buying your product or service, you are the first person that will come to mind. It's typically not the best person that comes to mind, but the person who's more frequently seen that ends up getting the business. And that's why it's so important that you need to build a personal brand.
Right, that's great, and I completely agree with you on that one. So you're basically saying first it's essential to build the interpersonal connect and build trust and empathy with your employees or with your clients, and then go on to the solution finding process.
Yeah, there's too many people focusing on ROI, return on investment, but actually what you should be focusing on is ROR, which is return on relationships. And all of these particular touch points help you develop a relationship, because right now, let's face it, networking events, conferences, in person are not happening. And we've got to use this digital medium in the best way possible.
Right, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more on that. Thank you so much for that elaborate response, Neeraj. So just kind of going on to the next question, in an overwhelmingly digital world, this is like a follow-up question. Sales is also really going virtual these days. So how, in your opinion, can, traditional sales leaders just adapt seamlessly to this digital version of sales?
Look, in March of this year, my business was 100% offline, in person, face-to-face, events-based. And literally because of this, I've had to go 100% digital. And suddenly now I have clients from all over the world. So, let me just share a couple of things that have really worked and helped me convert high value clients, from a diverse geography. Okay. So you've got to have a high tech, high touch outlook. And, you've got to use a combination of marketing automation, to nurture leads, to maybe generate the lead, nurture the lead into a qualified prospect. And then, you're using things like email and messenger. Okay. And you have things like chatbots, so, that's the high tech version of things. Okay. And one of the ways that works really well right now is having assessments and quizzes, because then if you have something like that, it will help people discover, where they currently are. It's people want a self-evaluation. Okay, so if you're able to help them identify where they currently are, then it makes them much more aware of where they currently are in the problem cycle, okay, and what their specific problem is, because often they don't even know that. So, if you do that, and then you begin to take them on a customized journey, which is helping them, based on the answers that they've given, if there's a different set of responses, each one could have its own little journey. And with marketing automation, you're able to do that. So while it is high tech, it's very high touch because it's very relevant to your current position. And in this day and age right now, what are people looking at? If you look at the different lockdowns that are there, I know we keep on yo-yoing from, unlocking to going back to locking, but it's essentially essential services is what's generally open. That has never shut down even during all the lockdowns, So you've got to help people identify what are essential services related to your line of product or service, okay? And then help people understand that there are solutions available. And then this is where you can begin to then drip feed them content and help them really build a relationship, and where you're delivering short, informative content which is very relevant to that person's problem, and you're showing them bite-sized little solutions, and they see you with frequency, and this helps build the relationship. It helps build the credibility. It helps build the trust. And then invite them to get on a call. It could be a Zoom call or team or some teams or something like that, so that you can meet with people on a face-to-face basis. And that's why I'm saying, high tech, high touch.
Right.
And then even when you are giving proposals, don't just send them a proposal. Send them a video proposal specific to that person. So you will get a much higher response rate. And if you really want high value customers and high conversion rates, then this is what I will recommend. This is what I have been doing, and this is what I've been showing my clients to do, and we've seen amazing results from that.
Great. So you're saying we need to customize for each customer and each client. There's no one size fit all solution to anything.
But I think we can have a set of solutions that are available from our side that can solve problems. But initially, if you have a diagnostic tool or assessment to help the prospect identify where they currently are, then rather than trying to send them all the different solutions that are there, you hyper target, you personalize, and then send them only information for things that are more likely to be relevant to them. And as a result, you end up wasting less time and end up getting much better results.
Great, great. Thank you for that really wonderful and that fresh perspective you gave our audience, Neeraj. So,
Thank you.
yeah, going on to the next question. Also many entrepreneurs these days, although motivated, sometimes they really get a little too overwhelmed because of the pandemic and these uncertain times. So how would just put that into perspective in today's world, and the constantly changing world, and what would
Yes.
your advice be to them?
Yeah, I think, look, the work from home situation has really kind of thrown a spanner in the works for many people. It's very new to them. As a company, we've been working from home for the last 5 years. So we are used to this. And I will give you, some quick tips which will help you from stopping getting overwhelmed. Okay. So first thing, have a really strong morning routine. It might sound a weird response, but we've really got to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And it's almost like, before we do work, what do? We put on the computer, but we make sure that the computer is charged, right? Like it's plugged in. So this is the equivalent of charging you up for the day. So, when we are low energy, there are a lot of things that can, distract us, or, if some emergency comes, we become very reactive. So, it stops us from being reactive in the wrong way. Secondly, start the day with a quick team huddle, because they're now remote teams. So, do a quick team huddle, check in with where everyone is, don't make it too long, but, have some little bit of structure, let people report in with something good, then, what they said they were going to work on, so it has accountability, and then what they're going to work on for today. So, when you make a public statement, declaration about what you're going to achieve, you're more likely to achieve it. And, especially if you have to report in the next day, I promise you, your goal achievement will go up by 76%. Research backed, I'm telling you. And then number 3, focus on the 90-1-1 rule. That is something not I've not come up with, but Robin Sharma. I spend the first 90 minutes focusing on the most important income producing activity. What is going to move my department or my company forward? And the first 90 minutes is on that. So then what happens is you're working on important things, not just urgent things. And you'll find that you'll end up making much more progress. And you'll have got important stuff done, at the beginning of the day, rather than, getting caught up with whatever's happening during the day. And then point four, have some breaks, set maybe a little timer and, keep having some breaks, in between, have a little change, things like that. I even structure the day in such a way that in the morning I do work related to me. And then at 12, we again have a check-in. So I don't have we have a team check-in. So, I let my team get on with it. And then, if they've got stuck, then that's an opportunity for them to let me know, or just say, hey, what's going on, any fun stuff, some quick goss to catch up on, whatever the case, so it just keeps people connected and, like not alone, because sometimes when we're just doing working on the computer, and we have no one else around, then that can be challenging. And then finally have a shutdown routine. So have a kind of time when you're going to shut down, plan for the day, review what's happened and plan for the next day. And in this way, what happens then is that you have a kind of hard time where you shut down so that you're able to differentiate between your work and your home life. Otherwise, when you're working from home, it all begins to just blend into one. And, that's what causes burnout. So, there are some simple ways. And of course, if you have kids, so, they may be having online school, but, they don't have online school for the whole day. They typically have it maybe for a certain period of time. And then, there are other distractions depending on the ages of your kids. I have a young kid, so then, I have to make some playtime and, things like that. So, you've got to balance some of these things in.
Right, absolutely. I think these 5 points that you just provided to our audience are going to come like so handy, and they're extremely the need of the hour. And I don't think an influencer has ever encapsulated all of these important, essential points before. So thank you so much for that. And also the great analogy of the charged laptop and the charged employee. So yes, thank you very much. So just to kind of wrap this interview up, Neeraj, do you have any passing remarks you'd like to leave our audience with?
Absolutely. And this is something that I always share with my tribe, my clients, my audience. Focus is more important than IQ. Focus is more important than IQ. Focus on, a few fundamentals and make miles of progress on those few focus fundamentals instead of trying to, make a millimeter progress on a million things.
Absolutely. So just take one thing at a time and finish that wholly and then go on to the next one. That's what you're trying to say.
Absolutely. You get paid for execution. Sure. No one wants to know what you're going to do. They want to know, what did you do? And that's not going to come if you don't have focus and energy to make it happen.
Thoroughly agree with you on that one. And thank you so much for that last bit of positivity, Neeraj. I had a wonderful time interviewing you and just got such great insights and perspectives. Really hoping to do like a second version of this sometime in the near future.
Sure.
And, yeah, thank you for just, taking the time out to talk to peopleHum. Really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Pleasure is absolutely ours. So you stay safe and have a healthy time ahead of you. Hoping to stay in touch.
Absolutely, you too. And thank you so much once again. Do let me know, and I will as soon as this goes live, I'll let my audience also know.
Perfect, will do. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.